This footage was filmed in Keswick, Ontario, Canada, in proximity to Lake Simcoe. The clip analysed in this video was filmed on Tuesday, 16th September 2025 at 10:52 p.m, utilizing a Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. The original clips have been enhanced by altering brightness and contrast levels to help clarify the extent of what was recorded. An overlaid grid was placed to help track movement. The original clip in this video was muted. This is purely analysis of what's visual. So here I've highlighted that Ursa Major are the 3 stars that you can constantly see in the center there. That's just to highlight that. So here the phenomenon's beginning, and I'm shining the laser pointer right at those lights down there. So what I first saw was like a series of lights that came up, and I was fumbling around before I started recording, just because I was mainly just in shock from what I was seeing again. As the night prior, I had witnessed something similar. Now I'm highlighting the other lights that I could see but weren't clear on the original video. By using this overlaid grid, it's made it a lot easier for me to identify the spots that aren't purely just digital noise or digital matrixing. This is what I was seeing at the time. It just didn't come through clearly on the camera, which is why in the original I referred to seeing them as a flotilla, a fleet of them. Now, in my attempts to enhance this, my goal was to do the least I could possibly do without increasing the noise levels, the pixelization too much, or the digital noise. So there was that risk by increasing the brightness and the contrast that would happen, but I'm actually quite impressed with how minimal that is. It's easy to distinguish between the pixelization and the matrixing and the phenomena. Now, being a first-hand witness to this, it's also easier for me to distinguish what I'm looking at through this pixelization that is there, and differentiating between that and pareidolia, which is the brain interpreting familiar shapes and patterns, identifying faces and things. Now, to roll back and address the fact that Ursa Major is visible, it was a clear night. However, I should differentiate that what I'm highlighting, what I'm circling in this video, were not more stars. And this is evident as, even at now, you can see at the top there, when the camera pans up, the consistency of Ursa Major being present is throughout the video. These lights, as you're seeing right now, appear and disappear. Maybe that's out of phase, I don't know. Maybe it's just a different angle, but as you can see now, there's another one right there above the one below. So this wasn't air traffic. I was actually checking flight radar at the time, and I was checking for any aerial drone shows. This was neither. The only air traffic that does emerge comes later in the video, and that's when I put an end to signaling the craft with my laser pointer. It's highly illegal for you to ever shine your laser pointers towards an aircraft, so I didn't want to risk that. Now, the behavior of these lights would suggest that they're independent. They're not one nuts and bolts craft, even though at times it does appear that they fly in a formation to maybe fool people that they are. Now, this wasn't the only time I've ever seen these craft before, but this was the one time I felt prepared with everything to record the experience, to a degree anyway. So directly addressing this moment in the video here, whilst the lights were appearing and disappearing after the laser interaction, this shooting star appears conveniently at the exact same time and appears to go straight down to the same region where these lights are. So whether this was a shooting star or maybe another one of the light craft, I'll probably lean towards that, just because of the timing and what was occurring, the interaction between the laser pointer and the bright, intense light coming from some of the craft. Now, I should add that I was emotionally charged this night. I don't want to go into the details of that, but when I was doing a bit of a CE5 session, I also felt very heavy emotionally, and I believe it's worth mentioning this as it could tie into how effective CE5 actually is. CE5, or Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, being which you're trying to actively call the craft to you by means of psionic ability or intent. Interestingly enough, this is when it started to die down, and this is also when, as you see on the right there, the blinking light, that was aircraft coming into frame. So this is when I also stopped shining the laser too. So I was just checking to see if they would show up, and again, as the aircraft shows up, these lights disappear. This was observed in Keswick, Ontario, and I was in a local park at the time, and the direction I'm facing was northerly. So what do you think of these lights? Have you ever seen them yourselves? What are your thoughts?